first grade. Welcome back to Social Studies. We're going to continue with our same target. I can identify needs and wants. Real quickly, let's go ahead and review. What's a need? What's a want? Well, on our anchor chart yesterday, we said that a need is something you have to have in order to survive. These included like air, water, clothes, food, shelter. Those are things that you have to have in order to survive. Then a want, we said, is something that would be nice to have, but you don't have to have it in order to survive. Like a TV, soda, maybe some junk food, your phone, all sorts of different things can be wants. Well, we're going to read a story today that's going to talk all about needs and wants, and we're going to have to decide, how is that a need? How is it a want? Let's get started. Okay, here's our story, and if you want to read it again later, it is on Epic. It's called Needs and Wants by Maren Ventura. Ooh, right away I see this little girl and she's holding a stuffy and an apple. Now I know that apple is probably a need because it is food and it's healthy food and that's what we need in order to survive. But her stuffy, this elephant, you don't need that. It's nice to have and it's probably really a good thing for her to play with, but you don't have to have it. So that would definitely be a want. I wonder what other needs and wants I'm going to find in this book. It says needs. A need is something that people must have to live. Food, shelter, and clothing are needs. And we talked about how you need food and shelter and clothing because that is what's going to keep you safe. Your clothes are going to protect you from the environment, right? So you have to have clothes. You also have to have shelter because if you didn't have shelter, like a place to live, and it started snowing outside, that'd be bad news. Or what if it got really, really hot? You need a place to stay where you are safe. And you also need food because your body needs food to grow and to work. If you didn't have food, your body would stop working. But it has to be that healthy food, right? I can't just say, oh, a cupcake, right? That doesn't fall into the food needs. Clean air and water are needs too. Medical care is a need. People everywhere have a lot of the same needs. So did you know that taking care of your body is a need? It is. I have to have that clean air and water, but it even says that medical care is a need. Now, that means if I'm really, really sick, I probably need to go to the doctor because otherwise I won't survive. There are different ways that you can get your medical care, whether it's maybe a Band-Aid to help something stop bleeding or going to see the doctor if you're not feeling well, okay? So we do call that a need because without it, we would not be able to survive. Now, let's talk about wants. A want is something that people enjoy. Toys, desserts, and televisions are wants. Raise your hand if you enjoy toys, desserts, or televisions. Yeah, they're so great and they make life so much more fun. But do I have to have them in order to survive? No. This little boy looks like he's having a lot of fun. He's got some cool headphones on and it looks like he's listening to music on a phone. Oh, but do you need that? No, but you want it and it's okay to have wants. But it is just a want. You don't have to have it. Like a stuffed animal or that cupcake. Man, that looks pretty good. It's just a want. And every now and then, that's okay to have your wants, like cool stuff like that. But we need to make sure we know you don't have to have it, okay? People like having them, but people do not need them to live. Like this super cool, huge TV and some video games. That's pretty cool. And it makes life really fun, but we don't have to have it. Needs before wants. People use money to buy the things they need and they want. Most people buy needs first. They pay for food and a place to live and clothes. Let's think for a minute. Why would it be important to buy your needs first? Okay, well, I know needs. I have to have it in order to survive. And wants, well, that's just the cool stuff, right? So why should, I guess it would make sense. I should get the stuff I have to have in order to survive. And then if I have leftover money, I can get my wants. That makes sense. I know that some people don't have a lot of money. So it is important to make sure that you're meeting your needs first. Because remember, you have to have it to survive. Then if you have any extras, you can start looking at some of your wants. It looks like she is buying some fruit. And that's definitely a need because that is that healthy food. Sometimes people have money left over after paying for their needs, and they might use that money for their wants. Or they might save some money for later. And we're going to talk all about different ways to spend and save your money in math in a couple weeks, okay? But it's important to know that you can spend your money on your needs and your wants, or you can save it for some future needs and wants. Some needs that you're probably going to have to spend money on are like shelter, food, and water. And some wants you would have, like toys, TV, even jewelry. I know, it's beautiful, but it's just a want. It's not a need. You don't have to have it in order to survive. People can share their money, food, and other things with people who can't pay for their own needs. This is called donating to charity. Charities can help pay for someone's food, shelter, or medical bills. So sometimes we are good citizens and we can see that, oh, I met my needs, and maybe my friend or my neighbor is having trouble meeting their needs. So a good thing that we do is help each other meet those needs, because again, a need is something you have to have in order to survive. Making choices. James' mom gives him $5. James needs to buy lunch at school, and the school lunch costs $2.50. Now, James can choose how to spend the rest of his money. Ooh, this is going to be a tough choice. Okay, so he has to buy his lunch because he has to eat, right? That's his need. I wonder, what could he spend? There's some, maybe adding like a cookie to his lunch, or saving up and buying like a cool new eraser or a pencil, right? He's going to have some extra money. Oh, maybe he could help a friend get his lunch too, right? Because you have to meet your needs first, then your wants. James wants a new game that costs $20. He saves his extra lunch money. He buys the game when he saved $20. So again, this is a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about when we get to math, but it is nice to see that he spent his money on his needs first, and then his leftover money, he started saving it. So eventually he could get his wants. Remember, he bought his needs first, then he started working towards his wants, because you don't have to have your wants in order to survive. There are a lot of needs and wants that we have out there. As long as we remember, a need is something you have to have in order to survive, and a want is something that you just want, that maybe makes life a little more easier or fun, but you don't have to have it. You'll always be able to identify needs and wants. Okay, it's your turn. On Seesaw, there are some pictures of different objects, and it's your job to figure out, is it a need or a want? You're going to have to drag the pictures to the needs or the wants after you've decided, do I have to have it in order to survive? Or is it just something fun that I would like to have, but I don't have to have? When you're all done sorting your pictures, make sure you click that green check mark.